from some parts of the city that have received more than a foot of rain, in a very short period of time. This flooding event, it's very significant. It's something that Milwaukee hasn't seen in perhaps a decade or more. I remember the last time we had a flood as significant as this in the city. And absolutely, certainly, I mean, as I've traveled here, I've seen some of the devastation. My own family members have texted me about some of the issues that have happened in their homes. So I certainly feel for the people who are dealing with the aftermath of this storm and the flood that's happened. My heart goes out to everyone dealing with basement flooding, that have been dealing with power outages, damage to cars, having trees that were uprooted in and around their properties, and a list of other things that have happened as well. Very, very devastating, and my heart again goes out to all of our citizens dealing with that. Now, we've seen some major property damage. I'm grateful that as of now, and there's not been any update to this, but apparently there's been no death that have been associated with these floods as of now. So I'm praying that that continues to be the case as we move forward here. I do ask, though, for everybody to maintain caution, to continue to proceed with caution, because there are a number of risks that are still out there as we work to recover and clean up from the storm. I can tell you that city government continues its major response that's been underway since earlier on in this rain event. Our lead city agencies, the fire department, the police department, public works, emergency management, they've all been active and without interruption since this event started to happen in our community. We're prioritizing our specific responses, and we're very appreciative of everyone's patience as we work through what happens to be a really long list of needs that are happening here. My team has been in touch with the governor's office about an emergency declaration, and we've been working very closely with Milwaukee County to coordinate shelter, safety, and other necessities for residents right here in our community. So I'm joined by a number of staff from my cabinet who have been working literally around the clock on this issue. And I want to thank folks from my cabinet who've been working on this. I'm going to open the mic to them for their comments in just a moment, but first I want to give the mic to Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. So, County Executive.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to say thank you all for joining us, and first and foremost want to reiterate that our top priority remains to be the life and the safety for all Milwaukee County residents. And I've had a chance to tour some of the damage, been without power myself, and so I want folks out there to understand that we see and we hear you when it comes down to the damage and the devastation. We also want folks to understand that the flooding is still an active emergency situation all across Milwaukee County, and that we are expecting more rain today and into this evening. And so my team, we're working actively with municipal first responders all across Milwaukee County to address the immediate needs of the affected people and to assure the safety of the entire public. And so with that in mind, I am declaring a state of emergency all across Milwaukee County to empower our emergency management personnel to deploy more additional resources, to activate our state and federal partners to assist us with our efforts right here on the ground within Milwaukee County, and to help people be safe. And we want to do this as swiftly as possible. But in the meantime, we want to remind the public to please stay cautious, please stay informed, and refrain from traveling if you can. Make sure to call 911 if there is an emergency. But people can also call 211 to report any property damage, such as flooding in your basements, collapsed walls, and lightning-related incidents as well. And so we know that people may see their basements flooded, but please take precaution. Wear rubber boots, wear rubber gloves. There are a lot of debris and a lot of hazards in the water that you may not know about, and we want people to be safe. And so as we navigate the aftermath of last night's severe flooding and storms, I am encouraging the public to stay indoors as much as possible and seek out emergency assistance if you absolutely need it. We've been working with the Red Cross, also standing up emergency shelters on the south side of Haller Park. And so if you want more information on how to stay safe at this time, that information is available at wem.wi.gov. Again, wem.wi.gov. An emergency operations center has also been established to coordinate our response efforts throughout tonight and into the remainder of this weather emergency. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you to the community in general, those who have been stepping up to assist those in need, stepping up to remove debris in the way of allowing this water to go into our sewers. And so I just want to say thank you to all those people, our first responders, our law enforcement partners, as well as our social service workers and neighbors who have been lending a helping hand. We will get through this together, and it's extremely important that we just stay informed and stay vigilant throughout this time. And so please continue to watch the news, stay updated on Facebook, but if you are looking for more information, again, you can contact 211, or if you need an emergency personnel, please don't be afraid to call 911. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, County Executive. He's right, we'll all get through this together. I want to acknowledge Alderman Mark Chambers, whose district we're in right now. Thank you for being here, Alderman. I know this has affected, obviously, the 2nd District as well. At this point, I want to bring up the Commissioner of Public Works, Gerald Kruschke.
Thank you, Mayor. The Department of Public Works is responding to many things across the city, and we understand the challenges that all of our citizens are facing right now. We want to make sure that our citizens just remind themselves to be patient with us. We know there's a lot of surface flooding happening across the city. Our tow vehicle's been out since last night about 10 o'clock at night. We know there's a lot of disabled vehicles. You can see some of them behind us. Our tow trucks are trying to get there, trying to open up waterways. That's our first priority. We do have flood crews out that are currently been on 24/7. I would say that residents, we do appreciate the help of opening up catch basins, but we do want to remind folks to be very, very careful. If there are electrical lines, there's a lot of street lights that are down, there are traffic signals. We want to make sure that people are not getting electrocuted or putting themselves in harm, but we do appreciate the help. We're asking for the public's help. DPW does not know everything that's happening right now in the city. So we're asking residents to use our 286 City, use the Click for Action app, let us know what's happening. We might not get there really quick, but we want to know what's happening, and we appreciate all the help we can do. The Department of Public Works is going to open up our drop-off centers, which are usually closed on Mondays, to flood victims as we kind of pursue through the week. We are going to waive all fees for the rest of the week tied to both drop-off centers, just so people can get flooded items out of their basements or in their properties. If there is extra pickups over this next week, please contact DPW, call 286 City to assist with clearing out folks. Again, please just, as you can do, all citizens, just report anything you see and be careful out there. We're here to help. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Todoritis, the Commissioner of Health for the City of Milwaukee Health Department. Just want to share some important information as we deal with this ongoing rain and severe flooding. We're working closely, obviously, with the Mayor's Office, DPW, and MMSD to respond. And as the Commissioner and Mayor and County Executive said, please stay out of the floodwater. There can be lots of hazards there, whether that's electricity or debris that you cannot see. So stay out of the floodwater if you can. Do not try to drive your vehicle through if you can avoid doing so. And if you do need to go into the floodwater, perhaps in your basement, make sure you're wearing protective equipment, whether that's boots and gloves and goggles. And if you have to go, please wash your hands very carefully afterwards, because the water can be contaminated with any sort of chemicals and potentially backed up sewage. That floodwater, again, can carry bacteria. So if you do have to interact with the floodwater, make sure you're washing any open wounds that you have. And if you end up having an infection afterwards, please contact your provider. And also assume that any food or medication, anything that you're going to consume that is stored in the basement that has come into contact with floodwater, whether that's in plastic or not, assume that it's been contaminated and just throw it away. So if you're in doubt, just throw it out. Do not try to consume the food or anything else. And if there's any sort of food prep areas or utensils, plates, any sort of cooking ware in floodwater, make sure you're using really hot water and soap to clean that before you use that for cooking. Lastly, if you're without power and your temperatures in your fridge or freezer get above 40 degrees for more than 4 hours, you will have to throw that food away. If you are a restaurant operator in the city and you have questions about what's going on in a flooded basement or a flooded kitchen, you can call 414-286-8327. That's 414-286-8327. That is our Consumer Environmental Health Team. They are checking calls throughout the day and will make sure to get back with you. We will have inspectors on site across the city later tomorrow But in the meantime, if you need someone to reach out to you, leave a message and we will get back to you as soon as we can. As of right now, we haven't gotten any calls yet to our hotline, but that just got stood up today. And as the county executive and mayor mentioned, call 211 if you need additional resources during this time. Lots of challenges right now, and make sure to check on your neighbors. Thank you.
Chief Aaron Lipsky, Milwaukee Fire Department. Since about 8 o'clock last night, Milwaukee Fire Department has worked extremely hard, taking between 8 o'clock last night and about 7 o'clock this morning approximately 614 separate and distinct emergency assignments. These include everything from from the electrical trouble caused by water working its way into electrical components to your regular run-of-the-mill emergency medical service runs, natural gas leaks from pilot lights being extinguished from floodwaters and or water getting into somebody's basement, wires down, trees on wires, transformers exploding, general fires. We had a second alarm fire down in Walker's Point towards the lake. That was a 10-story cold storage building. At the same time, we had another fire on Industrial Road, and we had a number of other fires overnight. And just in that time, we had approximately 65 water rescue assignments for people such as the people that you're witnessing behind us here, who just are smarter than everybody else. We've been telling people over and over again, don't drive through the water, but they know better. This is how we have hundreds of vehicles around the city, blocking intersections, making progress absolutely impossible. They're not supposed to say that?
No, you had a bug.
All right.
Spider bit.
So here's the point. We need everybody to help us out here. We can't do everything. We can't be everywhere at once. Don't drive through the floodwaters. If you're going into your basement, you've had a flood. If it's up any higher than your knee, don't go in there until it recedes or you get it pumped out. The electrical components, they'll electrocute you, and that'll be that. Depending on the amperage coming in, it's pretty deadly. If you have an electric vehicle or a hybrid vehicle and you're partaking in this activity, or it was caught in the floodwaters, you need to have that vehicle checked out by an authorized mechanic. These batteries that are going through floods are just about spontaneously combusting and causing a very real fire problem for everybody. So get that checked out properly before you start using it again. I do want to recognize that we had a tremendous amount of help from surrounding communities because we were tapped out very early just on the sheer quantity of runs. So we had about a dozen fire departments from Racine County, Ozaukee County, Washington County, Waukesha County. They came in and they worked all night right alongside us so that we could just get through some of the runs. We don't like queuing runs. We don't like waiting, but we only had what we had. We actually split our dive team in half last night so that we could just hit more runs and clear more runs. We pulled dozens of people out of cars and off of cars trapped in the middle of floodwaters. This floodwater, it may look like it's not moving real much right here, but that can really have a strong current. The other problem with it is when you get these excessive floods like this, the water pressure in the sewer system actually lifts the lids off the manholes. And so you can fall right into that manhole. There's not a whole lot of coming back from that. So stay out of the floodwaters, please. Again, I can't say enough about the work of everybody that went into getting this far. We are still in the middle of it. We're still catching up right now. And the rain that you feel overhead here isn't going to make it much better. There's another system headed at us, but we're doing everything we can. We really could use the public's help with those issues. So thank you very much.
So I'm not going to add too much more than what's already been said. I believe we understand the challenges that we're dealing with right now. Our system, our public safety system, our public works system is strained right now. Please, public, help us help you by keeping yourself inside if possible, off the roads. Just as Chief Lipsky said, moving water that doesn't look like it's fast moving can be dangerous. While it may look cool to look at, stay away from it. If you need help, please call 911, but understand we are all trying to work together through all of this. So again, help us in regards to making sure that you can do what you can, stay off the road, stay away from all these high water areas, and so that we can continue to do our work in regards to helping out people who are actually in need. So thank you, and appreciate everybody's working this work that we're dealing with today.
Great. Thank you all so much. Again, these leaders, they've been working all night, just around the clock on this issue, working to keep our community safe in order to make sure that the streets again become passable and safe, and encouraging people in our community to be safe as well. I want to thank them for all the work that they're doing. We're happy to take a couple of questions right now. We know that there's another storm system that's making its way through right now, so let's be as brief as we can, but take some questions.
So in some of those areas that have excessive flooding,
Just a second. Repeat your question, Adam.
walk us through the difference between emergency declarations. We have one from the county, but you're in contact with the governor. What does this one do? What does the next one do? How does it open up differences there?
I might leave that to the county executive to answer that question, considering his declaration there. But if there are particular things that the county is able to do that opens up opportunities for us to pull some dollars or resources down, maybe that's one thing. The same thing with the governor. I do know that we have been in touch as well with Senator Baldwin's office as well as Representative Moore's office. They're going to work to make sure that we're able to receive some funds as well from federal sources too. But County Executive, anything you want to add to that?
So with the county making an emergency declaration allows us to basically tap into state mutual aid. We already have mutual aid working right now locally, as the chief of the fire department spoke about, but this allows us to tap into other state resources as well as federal resources related to FEMA or anything else that we may be able to go after to help mitigate the impact of this storm.
Question for the commissioner.
Hold on. Oh, before you do that, Nick, just to put a finer point on that, I want to have the director of our Office of Emergency Management, Ryan Zollicoffer, to come up and address that question as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Ryan Zollicoffer, Emergency Management Director. We did reach out to the county as well as to the State Emergency Management Agency. What's going to happen is they're going to send out an incident management team. They're going to do a preliminary assessment of the conditions associated with the financial cost for the impact of the storm. Based on certain thresholds, we'll determine whether or not we'll be eligible for those fundings, but that contact has been made at the state and the county level. As it was mentioned before, we have an emergency operations center that's been open since last night. It will continue to stay open, and we will continue to do disaster recovery. It should be noted too as well that Impact 211 has been set up for folks to submit claims as far as associated with damage, so we can collect all that information and we can get a cost summary to the state to see if we're eligible. So thank you, Mayor Johnson, for that.
Nick?
We're hearing from people that are talking about, well, it didn't come in from outside, it came up through the drain, through the toilet, that type of thing. Does that mean something went wrong with the DPW, just the sheer volume of rain that we saw over here? Can you tell people what the answer is?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question because I know a lot of people, especially if you look behind us, anyone who's close to or near an adjacent waterway, any rivers, which the city's got a lot of, that water is coming and surcharging across. So if you look right behind me, every sewer behind me is filled. If you're in a higher level area, you're probably not going to have a lot of basement flooding. So it's just putting we had 14 inches of rain in this location right here, which is an intense amount in a short period of time. So there's no sewer system across the country that can maintain that amount. So as we start moving forward and the rain starts to dissipate, it'll start going out. So I know I had water in my basement. I'm pretty sure a lot of the folks behind me had water in their basements. It's just the amount of volume that came so fast. It's an intensity issue.
Have we talked to some neighbors that were in some of those high flooding areas? One that we spoke to said that there was a lot of litter in one of the gutters. Do you think that could also be a factor? And what could maybe this be a lesson for people about kind of just keeping their communities more clean and not throwing things in the gutter if that was a factor in these high flooding areas?
Yeah, I think there's some contributing factor to litter. I mean, we see it every time with a catch basin. I would say because the rain came down so intense, not every resident can get their garbage receptacle and it tipped over, and a lot of debris is all over the place. You're going to see that over the next week. We're going to have street sweepers out, et cetera, to help with that. But I would say on a normal basis and on a daily basis, if the community can help keep roadways clean, that is a huge contributor to getting water into the catch basins. If behind me, those catch basins are not taking any more water because we're talking about river flooding, but any help of picking up debris in the waterway or in the roadway will help.
One more question about emergency declarations. I'm not sure if you might be the right person. We're talking a lot about cars with funds. You may not know the answer yet, but do funds open up for people like that? After tornadoes or disasters? Are there avenues for people down the road to apply for assistance if they don't have insurance?
Yeah, we consider those individual assistance policies associated with if they are uninsured, if there's a significant amount of damage, we can look at other revenues and sources of that. There's no guaranteed with that, so the first thing is doing a cost estimation associated with the disaster, and then finding out those who are insured that are going to go through that route, and those that are not, what other avenues or support NGOs or whatnot to help to offset that cost. No specific answer that I can say for guarantees. We got to get that initial assessment in and see who qualifies for that funding from the federal government as well as the state if there's opportunities there. I know sometimes at the state they do have fundings for emergency events if it meets a certain threshold. So like I said, we just been in contact with them pretty much today and yesterday. That team's going to hopefully get deployed and we're going to start doing that recons, and so no answer on that just yet. Yes, that is, as I said, the Emergency Operations Center is set up. That is between city, county, and state. So we're all in coordination statewide.
How you doing? I'm Alderman Mark Chambers of the 2nd District. I kind of want to harp back on to one of your questions that you talked about, the cleanliness of our district and our city. You know, besides the river basins being flooded or anything, this is a prime example of us taking care of our communities. I know I've been out since about 8 o'clock this morning. I know Montreal Kane and Mirror Cares and Von Mays, the Conforce, and his crew been out clearing up catch spaces as safely as they possible, and we've been discovering extremes amount of trash around the sewer grates and causing our streets to flood. You know, there's a real reason why Alderman Russell Stamper created a big clean for us to care about our communities. This is a prime example of why we need to care about our communities. You know, there's a lot of trash on these sewer grates. I done witnessed people drop pizza boxes, liquor bottles, wrappers, anything, you name it on there. So Milwaukee, please, 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 please take care of your community so we won't run into situations like this, so we won't exhaust our services for our chiefs and fire and police departments or Department of Public Works. You know, so the county executive won't have to declare a state of emergency for things that we can simply care about, and which is our neighborhood. So, you know, let that be a PSA and let this be a lesson learned that, you know, if we do better, we'll get better. And, you know, this is all I really wanted to touch base on. So thank you for bringing that question up. And I'm very confident that, you know, our leadership behind us is doing whatever they can, whatever it takes, community leaders as well, to ensure that everyone is safe, secure, and we'll get through this together. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We get a picture of you. Hey, Jeremy, can we walk down there? Oh, yeah. You can put on there, brother. Thank you.
Kobe.